Ash Noble here, and welcome back to another one. I actually need to have a haircut, and I feel like I'm just ever so slightly starting to get a cold. And if I do get a cold, I am certainly 100%. I know who I'm going to blame for it, because I was literally speaking to somebody only. I think it might have even been on Monday, and they were sneezing, and they said it wasn't a cold. They said it was they thought it was a bit of hay fever, but today I've been sneezing quite a lot, and I've kind of like sneezed, and then it's almost kind of felt like I've needed to sneeze again, and I've had this like almost like urge of wanting to sneeze, but it's like lasted for hours and hours and hours, and then the sneezes finally come. But then when the sneezes come, it's like I still feel like I need to sneeze, and then like a little bit later on, I'll sneeze again. And like even now, I kind of feel like I want to sneeze a little bit, but it's kind of like it's weird. It's not going away, but it's like I've got a cold. So hopefully I don't get one because we've got a gig this weekend, and that's what I'm going to talk about in the stream. Little bit of a reminder, and I'm going to talk about some updates. I'm going to tease a couple. I'm going to tease something as well, which I'm quite looking forward to. And we'll do some general updates and just things that are going on and all of that shiz. So I've got a nice cup of tea ready for this. This has been a luxury for me since moving, being able to make some cups of teas. I did make them at the old place, but I did a whole stream about like why I moved and just how I wasn't getting on in the shared house and how somebody in there didn't like me and how it was like really uncomfy, like cooking and making drinks and things in there and just doing general stuff that you should feel comfortable doing, and I didn't. So that's why moving in here has been such a luxury, just to be able to make a cup of tea. Anyway, so this weekend I am in Skegness. So on Saturday in Skegness, there is an event taking place at the Hive called Wild Child, and it's a family rave. So there's a family rave taking place, and you can literally come along to this event with the family. So what I was going to say is you can come with your parents, and parents can take kids, and you can bring like your uncles or whoever you want to bring family wise, and you can just experience the event together. It's not like you have to be over 18 to come to the event, so it's kind of like an open up to kind of like all ages, but I don't. I think the general idea is that you do bring kids. So like I don't think if you were say like 22, like you could maybe like hit the event on your own. But if you was like maybe 22 and you was bringing like a younger sister or something, then that would probably more make sense. But you can come with a family. The whole point behind it, it's going to be a belter. So there's a Club Filler and MC Storm headlining. We've got Rob IYF who's going to also be dropping some music there as well. We've got MC Motion. There's another guy, I always forget his name, so I do apologise. His name is on the flyer, which is the thumbnail of this stream. So you can have a look on there and it will tell you his name. But yeah, we've got like hardcore going off. So like Club Filler and Storm will be doing a hardcore set. Rob IYF will probably be doing something similar, playing sort of his releases and his 24/7 stuff. And then myself and the Layman we're doing a Clubland set, and then the other guy with MC Motion. I would imagine, unless Motion's Mike and Rob IYF, but then I believe the other guy will be doing a bounce set, so he'll be doing bounce and donk. And I'm really looking forward to it. So when it came to like this gig, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I was kind of not bricking it, but I kind of really was stuck on the set. So Clubland sets, I love Clubland. I've loved Clubland for years. I still do. I love all the CDs. I love all the classics. Do not get me wrong. But when it came to putting like an actual Clubland set together, it was actually quite proven to be quite difficult because Clubland is kind of it's had its kind of changes over the years. So Clubland has kind of been something that kind of like evolved like over the years. So you kind of had like the very early Clubland, sort of late 90s, early 2000s Clubland, was kind of like, so like Entrance Set You Free. That was kind of like, it was very Euro dancey, and it was a Euro dance track originally, before it kind of became like a big Clubland thing. And then you kind of had like when Clubland sort of started taking off in the early noughties, it kind of sounded kind of like very trancy. So like True Love Never Dies, Shooting Star, and stuff like that. All sounds like really trancy, and it's got like the really big kind of like trancy sounds in them, and like Nicki Modell, Show Me Heaven, and all that stuff was kind of like what I would kind of call very almost trancy, and stuff like that. And then sort of the mid to the late noughties is where I believe it went a little bit more kind of like big room, and it kind of like Scouse housey as well. So you kind of had like the Cascada Every Time We Touch. You had like Ravers Fantasy. You had like Bass Hunter coming in with like Now You're Gone, and then like Ultra Beat did kind of like Disco Lights and like Starry Eyed Girl, and they all kind of had that almost like the saw bass, which is used like heavily in hardcore, and that was kind of like a whole big thing like through the late kind of like noughties, and then also towards the sort of like late noughties, the bounce and the donk was kind of coming in, which was kind of like a big part of Clubland in itself. There was albums like Clubland Bounce and stuff. So when it came to putting this set together, I was kind of really like unsure of what to do. Because the thing about it is that you want to play the classics of Clubland, but you want to keep people like engaged as well. And some of them classic Clubland tracks, the breakdowns were like mega long, so you'd have like nearly like just a minute of breakdown before a vocal would even come in. Like that is how long some of these tracks were, and like for like especially keeping like younger ones engaged, like um if you've got like just one section that's just doing the same thing for too long, like it'll get boring. The set needs to kind of keep moving, and it needs to keep staying energetic. So I was kind of really unsure of like what to really do for the set, and kind of like how do I tackle this set. And I was kind of saying to the layman who's hosting me for ages, like I'm a bit unsure of what to do. And we were both just also like really busy with other things as well. And then kind of like before you know it, like it just creeps up, and then you're like, shit, it's this weekend. And it got to last night, and I had a little set put together, but like I wasn't certain of it, and I'm like, it's Tuesday now. I've really got to get this sort of nailed in the bag, because I've got quite a busy week this week with work and stuff, so I need to kind of get it nailed in the bag. And I wanted the layman to kind of like come and sit and go through this set with me, because I know what the layman's like. He's a very he knows in his mind what he wants, and if to a degree it doesn't sound like what he wants or he doesn't think it's gonna work, it'll put him off. So like if I hadn't have, if he hadn't have like really listened to the set before the gig, and then we just turned up and done it, he would have probably have like kind of like, yeah, I could have done better. And Lehman is a big person of like self doubting himself. So he'll go on the stage and he'll absolutely smash it. But when he comes off the stage, he doesn't think he's absolutely smashed it, and he's really sort of like it's almost like his eyes just point out faults like that. So it's almost like he knows where something didn't sound right, or he hasn't done something right, and he'll kind of like he'll drill that into himself that he knows that he hasn't done that right, and then he's kind of like, he's kind of like that. It didn't go as well as I thought it did, and then I'll say like you smashed that set, and then sometimes if I've taken a video, I'll play the video back to him, or he'll get some like positive comments online, and then he'll actually be like, oh, I actually didn't do too bad, did I? And I think just at first he's real self doubting himself, but yeah, he's a really big. So if something doesn't sound right, like he won't like it, or it'll put him off something. So I knew that like I wanted him to kind of hear what I was gonna play bef- before the gig, because I just had a feeling that it wouldn't completely be up his street, and it wasn't. He had to listen to it yesterday, and he was like, "No, I'm not keen on this." And there was a lot of things he didn't like. So, we sort of went back and we sat over and we went over the set together, which is what I wanted to do from the off. But we just both got like really busy, and before you know it, days have gone by and then weeks have gone by. But that's what I wanted to originally do from the off. What we did last night. And I'm kind of a little bit gutted that it took us like till the week of the event to actually sit next to each other at a computer and do it, because I don't like being like late putting sets together, and this is like, as much as I know and love my Clubland, I don't play Clubland sets out a lot. I play hardcore sets, I play bounce sets, I've done the odd trance sets and like house sets, but when it comes to like specifically like a Clubland set, and they want to define like the Clubland from the bounce, and they want an actual, more like 145 Clubland set. Like it just kind of thought, because there's so many Clubland tracks, and it's like, well, what do you start with? But I think we've kind of put something together that will go down really well, and there's just like a few little tweaks to make. So there was like one track, and a really good track, and I want the track, and the only way you can get the track is literally by buying like a music pack. So you pay like 40 quid, and you get a shed load of music in it, and like I wasn't gonna pay like 40 quid like just for a music pack, just to go through that music pack and find that one song. So I literally decided that I was just gonna rip the sample off of YouTube, and then I decided that I was gonna put it into FL Studio and try and somehow make just a little like kick intro, so I could at least mix into the track. And it's like it's not the last track of the set, but it's like the second to last. So after that track, I'm gonna fade the music down, and then it'll be like, do you want one more? So I don't need to mix out of it. I just needed some little 16 bar kick, so I could just at least mix in to the track to then bring that track in. So I gave that a little attempt, and for whatever reason, I don't know what I did wrong or what had happened, but cutting the story short, it just essentially didn't work, and like the record box just did not like the track, and it wouldn't keep it in time, it wouldn't keep it in beat. So I just need to go back over and see if I can re-get that to obviously work and obviously do what it's needed to do. But apart from that, I am like 99% happy with the set now. Like it sounds a lot better than it did. And we'll just kind of see sort of how it goes really, and and see sort of where we go and what kind of happens. And I'm looking forward to whatever is going to go down and take place. So it should be really good. It should be really fun, should be really positive. So I'm looking forward to that, and it should be a good do. I'm not sure what time we're playing yet. So if I do know, I will be posting it online. I'll be announcing it if we are announcing the times, which I think when it's a family and a kids thing, like I don't think it really matters too much. About because some events they don't announce set times because they don't want people saying, oh, we're just going to come for like certain DJs. But I think in all fairness, like when it's a kids thing, I don't think kids in a lot of sense are really gonna know too much about like different DJs. Like I think they'll just kind of like, yeah, and it's Wild Child. Like I can understand like rave kids that they'll know about Andy Whitby and they'll maybe buy the merchandise and all the rest of it. But Wild Child, for me, I just kind of feel like they might have maybe heard of like some of the names, but they're more just kind of coming. The parents have said, "Oh, let's see what the kids are going to be like if we bring them here," kind of thing. And it'll be more them that'll know the DJs. But we'll kind of see what happens. So, like I say, I think they might just say, look, these are the set times, and we'll just say them. But I'm not sure. We'll see. But it should be a shed load of fun. So, move update. Not that there really is an update to really tell you about. Just kind of more, just thought I'd let you know that I'm settling in really well and I'm really enjoying living here. It's really good. So it's a proper change from where I used to live in the shared house, like the shared house. As I said at the beginning of this stream, I have done a previous stream about it. But cutting the story short, there was a guy in the shared house. Apologies for the itchy nose. There was a guy in the shared house who decided that he wasn't going to like me and started making my life hell. So the time in the shared house was not the best time. And anyway, cutting a long story short, I confided in a friend who lived in a supported living place called Riverside, and it's like you have your own flat and everything. And she put a word into her social workers, and they kind of sort of just kind of spoke to me, and then a few things ended up happening that they weren't necessarily good things because I don't wish ill upon people, but someone was ill and they left the flat that they was living in, which was this flat. And cutting the story short, it became available. I was desperate. They knew my situation, so they just essentially offered the flat to me. So if you didn't know, I moved in last week. So I moved in just over a week, about a week and a half ago now, which that is crazy to think it's been that long already. And I have loved it. It's been really good. So the good points to it is, like I say, being able to make a drink, being able to make something to eat, because where I was living before with the situation with the guy who didn't like me, he was finding fault with like everything I was doing. So like I'd cook something and he'd be like, oh, what you doing, and trying to put me off, which it did in the end. I got to the point where I didn't want to cook. So rather than cooking, I'd like grab a takeaway, and it got to the point, believe it or not, it was a bad point in my life, but I was like eating like a takeaway every day. So like I'd go to a different takeaway, and I'd make sure that I was like eating something different, but like it's still not good. So like one day I'd have pizza, the next day I'd maybe have like doner meat, and then kind of like the day after that I'd maybe have a burger, or sometimes like if I was at work I'd get something like for dinner that'd be like quite big. So maybe I'd go like to say Pepe's, and I'd have a big meal at Pepe's for dinner at work. So then at night I wasn't like absolutely starving. So I'd like just get maybe something like a meal deal. But put it this way, I was spending probably 40 quid plus a week on food, and then I was like buying drinks out all the time. So like I'd buy like maybe two bottles of Coke a day, and then maybe like a can of Monster, or whatever drink I fancied. And you can obviously understand that after a while, like that doesn't do any favors on the bank account. So I was going through hundreds of pounds just buying food out all the time. And I'd take every advantage, like, if Lehman rang me up and said, let's go out and get a carvery or something, like, I'd be like, yeah, let's go and do it, just for the sake of having a proper meal, or having something to eat, but not having to eat it at the house. Bakeries and getting like a sausage sandwich, that was like another thing that, I was doing a lot, because again, it wasn't eating at the house. If I did get a takeaway, I'd just take it back up to my room and sit in my room and eat it. It was just physically, so I wasn't having to go in the kitchen, and I wasn't, having him complaining, just like he does. And then it was the same with showers as well. Like I'd get a shower, and he'd be like complaining that I haven't cleaned the shower out properly or something, even though I had. And there was just loads of stuff. Like I say, I'm gonna go too much into it, but it was just really bad. So like obviously since moving here, I've been in my own space. So yeah, get a shower. Who's gonna tell you you can't cook something? Who's gonna tell you you can't, kind of thing. So it's been really good. The one thing I will say is it's been a little bit lonely. Like that is probably the only thing, but it's not been like a mega bad thing, because I've had like layman's come round a couple of times, and I've had people come round, but like you kind of have kind of like this busy day where you're at work and you're seeing all these people and different things are happening, and then it gets to like eight, half eight, 9 at night, and you come home, and then when you come home it's just you, and and there's no one here, and there's no one to talk to apart from when I do these streams, and you're kind of on your own. Whereas when I was in the shared house, you could like constantly, like, whether it be hearing somebody else's TV, somebody else having a conversation, and even though you were sat in a room on your own, it kind of felt like you was in company with people, and it kind of felt like the house was busy. Whereas now it is kind of like just me. So it does get a little bit lonely, but it's not like a mega bad thing, and like I say, I stream a lot. I get on with projects on the computer, and no one's gonna tell me that I can't, kind of thing. So that's like a really good thing. And like I say, I can just go and do all the normal things that I should do in life, like cooking food and making drinks, and getting showers, and cleaning clothes, and stuff like that. And it's just good now that I can obviously finally do that. So yeah, I've been moved in just over a week now, about a week and a half, and it's been really good, really positive. When I moved in, there was no fridge or oven. I now have a fridge. I now have a sofa. There was no sofa either. The oven is on its way, so I've got a cooker on its way. I've got an air fryer coming on Monday, which is really good. My nan bought me an air fryer today. I've got microwave and toaster and things, so the food's not been the best. Like I've been having to kind of like manage, like with kind of like just something I can microwave. And in all honesty, there isn't, like, when it comes to having something microwaved, I feel like nowadays it really lacks. Like, I was going to shops and I could not really find anything that I thought, you know what, I actually want to take this. Like, I got a microwave lasagna last week. And then you can get like these Chicago town pizzas that you microwave, and that is like literally the only two things that I'd really seen where I thought, you know what, like, I actually, would have these. Like, everything else, like, I saw loads of nice stuff, but like it was only to do in the oven, kind of thing. So I was kind of a little bit like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. But I've had plenty of like crumpets, croissants, bread loaves, cereal, porridge. Loads of things like that. I got some like instant mashed potato, meatballs in gravy, like tin stuff. I've had like tin spaghetti and stuff. So that's been really nice and positive. I've been able to make sandwiches and stuff like that. It has like literally just been like, like you don't realize how much you actually need things like an oven when when you don't have one. Bear with me just a second. Just gonna grab this can because I've actually become really thirsty, and that cup of tea is nice, but it's a bit, not really for getting a good mouthful of. That's better. Oh, pardon. So yeah, so pardon. I do apologise. Yeah, so the move has gone all smoothly. So, I suppose the final thing that I wanted to touch up on in the stream was a booking. So, I think it would be. I'm just trying to think when it might be. I got a phone call about a booking. It's a big one. It's a biggie. Um, I just can't remember when it was. I suppose it doesn't really matter when it was. Anyway, I got a phone call probably about a week and a half ago now. Maybe sometime last week. I think it might have been last week, or it might have been the week before, or something like that. But I got a phone call anyway, from a friend of mine, so someone who I know, puts events on. Um, that's really all I'm really gonna like give you, kind of like clue wise. Friend puts events on. Anyway, cut long story short, he is running his next event in August. So in August, so it's a little bit of a while off yet. But he's running his next event. And anyway, to cut the long story short, he has booked me for that event to MC. So I'm really kind of I'm really looking forward to it. So the first reason why I'm looking forward to it is that the place where the event is taking place, or like the town, city, whatever you want to call it, where the event is taking place, holds a special place in my heart, from like the past, and like kind of like emceeing in the past and stuff. So it's kind of like a little bit of a kind of like going down memory lane, but at the same time it's like better and it's like new beginnings, but it's like going back to that place, if that makes sense. It gave me a little bit of a kind of like a rundown of the lineup and kind of what he was kind of going for with the lineup, and the lineup blew me away. So the lineup is absolutely crazy. I ain't gonna tell you any more because obviously I don't give away people's lineups. And when the flyer comes out, I'll be making a full announcement. Um, what I will tell you is the same person tried to book me exactly a year for for the same event, but the previous year. So the event is celebrating one final clue. The event is celebrating a birthday, and it celebrated its birthday last year, and they tried to get me for the event. But sadly, I was already booked with another event, and I was already booked. The thing about it for me is if I'm already like I'm a loyal person, so if I've already committed to a booking, like I've committed to a booking, I aren't gonna necessarily say, look, I'm not playing your event now because I've had a better offer. At the end of the day, a gig is a gig for me. And I'm happy, like to play small gigs, to play big gigs, to play medium-sized gigs. Big shout to Joe. So literally, I told him sadly I'm already booked, and then I said just look, if ever you want me in the future, I'll be happy, for the future kind of thing. And anyway, he's now booked me. I was free, so I'm now doing the event. And I'm absolutely buzzed about it. So yeah, the lineup is absolutely to go by. It's absolutely amazing. You know. So yeah. So yeah, that is all the updates. So this Saturday we're in Skegness. Oh, actually, I did forget to tell you. So next Friday I am in Doncaster and I'm DJing and I'm MCing. So I don't think there's really going to be any flyer for this. It's just a birthday party. So essentially, a friend of mine who is a DJ, the music producer, he literally knows somebody, and I think it was their daughter's birthday, and they're like, oh, would I want to do something for my daughter's birthday, hire out the pub. And then he was kind of like, oh, I know a few people that would be interested in, like maybe playing and stuff like that. And I was originally just gonna MC, and then one of the DJs could no longer make the event. So, and you know me, I love to DJ. As a matter of fact, I prefer DJing over MCing nowadays. So I wasted no time jumping in the group chat and saying, "Do you want me to cover the set?" And now I am actually DJing as well as MCing, which, like I say, I do prefer to DJ nowadays. I like to do both, but I do enjoy the DJing more. And I've kind of like, the DJing was always the main passion, but the MCing just kind of like took off. So, um, so in Skegness, I'm going to the Hive. So it's right on the seafront, and it's a daytime thing. So it's a family rave. So you can come with the whole family. And there's Club Filler, there's MC Storm, there's Rob IYF. So there's hardcore, there's bounce, there's loads of different genres of music going off all through the afternoon. So it goes on from, I think, something like from 1 in the afternoon until something like I don't know, something like maybe 5 or something. So I think that like it's a 4-hour event or something like that. So it'll be good. At the under 16s rave. So it's called Wild Child. It just says family rave. It doesn't state like specifically that it's like an under 16s, but it's kind of like, I think like it's kind of like an all ages thing. So like there will be like young kids there, but that have come with their parents. So it's not really the event where you'd come by yourself, like 22-year-old coming out to a rave. It's not that kind of thing. It is kind of like, look, it's kind of like parents bringing the little ones to a rave. Like if you've seen Rave Kids, like, and I'm playing a Rave Kids when it comes to Hull. But if you see like Rave Kids, it's like, you bring the family, so you bring, it's like the mum and dad, and the two eight, the 8-year-old and the 6-year-old kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you might have like the 11-year-old or something that goes, but no, not really like, not really like a teens event, like more like an actual kids event. So the ticket that I'm aware of is £10. And then I think you can pay on the door, and if you pay on the door, it'll probably be like £20 on the door or something like that. I'm playing a Clubland set, so I'm just DJing. There's no MCing. So like if you're thinking I'm gonna get on the mic and spit bars, sadly I won't be doing that. I'm just DJing. The layman is hosting my set, so he will be on the mic. It's not really the biddy biddy bad boy MC and spit bars kind of event. It's more kind of like the DJs play, the MCs kind of like just hype up the crowd, and you ready for this? Are you ready to go crazy? Kind of like a guy on the waltzers, scream if you want to go faster. That kind, like just a hyper. Um, so that's kind of what it's gonna be, but it'll be a shed load of fun. I, for one, I'm really looking forward to it. Um, so yeah, make sure to like, comment, share, all of that good stuff, and we'll see you soon. Oh man.